welcome back to Jewelry Making Made Easy by Ellen. Today is an actual remake of a video that I did the day before yesterday. Someone brought to my attention that they had a problem viewing it, and I agree. I went and looked at it. First of all, the colors were, even though I like the rainbow colors, there was not enough contrast to be able to see what I was doing. And I was not holding it close enough to the camera. So I'll try to do a better job today. We're using contrasting colors. We're using a Fireline size 6 in a crystal color and white Superduos. These are actually white satin. And pink blush 11O seed beads, pink blush 8O seed beads, and here's an ear wire. This is a smaller drop than I used for yesterday's video, so what I'm doing to make it a little bit longer is just adding a little 4mm pearl to it, as you can see I have on this necklace. So let's get started. Also, you'll need something to cut with. And I always have my flat nose plier to help me out. Normally I show if you're a beginner, how to thread a needle. The easiest thing to do is to take your thread, put it between a flat nose plier, and pull it. This will flatten out the thread and make it a lot easier to thread a needle. But I've already threaded my needle to save time. So I'll put that guy over there and we'll get started. We're going to pick up 4 seed beads, 11O seed beads, and 4 Superduos. So we're starting with an 11O Superduo. That's 1. 11O Superduo 2. 11O Superduo 3. 11O Superduo 4. Now there are 4 seed beads and 4 Superduos on there. We have the needle coming out here. What I'm going to do is pull them close to the end, and I'm using, well, I should be using about a half an arm's length of thread. I'm pulling it through, leaving a little 6-inch tail so I have something to hold on to. We're coming out here and we're going to go back in and put the needle through the seed beads and the bottom hole, which is now the bottom hole, of course, of the Superduos again. I'm going to hold on to that tail end of the thread, and I am going to pull my needle through. I have more thread on here than I really want to, let me put it down so you can see. If I pull the working thread, which is on the needle, and the tail together, you're going to form a circle. So at this point I'm just going to pick this up and tie a double knot, just like you're tying your shoe. Pulling that, the thread is now between the Superduo and the seed bead, and I'm going to do one more knot, making sure that when I pull, the thread is going through, right through between the 11O seed bead and the Superduo. See, I'm getting close to the camera and it's getting blurry. Okay, so now this is what we have. I've got a tail sticking out here. I am actually going to go through all those beads again. It's coming out, the thread is coming out of the seed bead, so I'm going to go back through the bottom of the Superduo and the 11Os all the way around, if I can get in there. I just went through a couple, just going all the way around until I get to the tail again. I'm coming out the bottom of a Superduo here, going through a seed bead, the bottom of a Superduo, seed bead, through the bottom of a Superduo, and seed bead. And now I'm in the same place as the tail. So what I want to do at this point, I'm coming out, hold the tail under, I'm coming out of the bottom of the Superduo. This is called the step up. I'm going in the top of that same Superduo I just came out of. And pull. And that is our row 1. Now we're coming out of the top of the Superduo. Row 2. Let me get it back where it was. We're going to be picking up 3 Superduos. We're coming out of the top of a Superduo. We're going to pick up 3 Superduos. Coming out of the top here, we're facing this way, going through the top of the next Superduo, right next to it, in the direction that the thread is going. Definitely too much thread here. And this is what we have. Whoops. Yeah. Now we're coming out the top of this Superduo. We're going to pick up 3 more and go through the top of the next one. 1, 2, 3. Go through the top of the next one. That's 2. We'll be doing this a total of 4 times. That's 2. Pull it taut. We're making a circle. Pick up 3 more. 1, 2, 3. We're coming out the top of this Superduo and going through this Superduo. Now remember, this is row 2. This tail is starting to get in my nerves, so I'm going to be cutting it off in a minute. We did 3. We have 1 more to do. Try to get close and I drop it. Okay, where am I? Put it this way. Hey you. Okay. We did that 3 times. We have to do it 1 more time. We're coming out of the top of this Superduo and going in the top of that Superduo. First we're picking up 3 Superduos. Going through the top of the next Superduo, and now we have a complete circle. Now what we need to do is we need to go the first one that we put on in the first set, the first of the 3, we're going to go in the bottom of this Superduo. Here's where we're coming out. We're coming out the top of this Superduo here, and we're going in the bottom of this Superduo. That's the first bead that we put on, first set of 3. And pull the thread through. And then we're going to come up and go back through that same Superduo, but through the top hole. which would make us be working in the opposite direction, which I really don't like to do. So I'll just flip it over and be working in the direction that I like. Now here's my needle. Where's that little tail? I'm going to cut him off now because he's nice and secure, because he keeps getting in my way. He's a mean little tail. Okay, now we did row 1, row 1 and row 2. We're coming out the top of this Superduo. What we're going to be doing in this row is placing seed beads between. We're going to start with 2 seed beads between this Superduo and this one, then 1 seed bead, 1 seed bead, and that's a set. We're going to do that set of 3 4 times. So let me get this facing the way it's supposed to be. I'm facing in this direction. I'm picking up 2 11 seed beads, going through the next Superduo, coming out here, going in here. Now I'm picking up 1 seed bead and going through the very next top Superduo. And pull, picking up 1 11-0 seed bead and going through, coming out the top of this one, going through the top of the next one. That's 1 set. Now we're going to take those 1 2 3 steps and repeat it. I'm going to start with 2 11-0 seed beads. I got 3 this time. 2, go through the top of the next Superduo, working in the same direction. Pick up 1 Superduo, 1 size 11-0 seed bead, and go through the top of the next Superduo. Pick up 1 11-0 seed bead and go through the top of the next Superduo. That's 2 sets. 2 out of 4. So we have 2 1 1 2 1 1. We're going to do that again. Pick up 2 seed beads. We're coming out of the top of 1 Superduo and going in the next. Pick up 1 seed bead, go through the top of the next Superduo. Pick up 1 seed bead, go through the top of the next Superduo. We finished another set. There's 2, 1 and 1. We're going to do that one more time. We're going to pick up 2 seed beads and go through the top of the next Superduo. Something's missing here. No, it's not. I'm going to pick up 1 11-0 seed bead, go through the next Superduo top, 1 11-0 seed bead, go through the top of the next Superduo. Now you're back at the beginning where we started on this round. And we're facing, we're coming out at the top of a Superduo and we're facing 2 seed beads. What we want to do here is slip through those 2 seed beads and a Superduo and another seed bead. We're going to be building picots wherever you see the 1s, the 1 seed bead, one seed bead here and one seed bead here. We're coming out of one of the single 11-0 seed beads. We're going to pick up 1, 2, 3, 8-0 seed beads, and we're going to skip over this Superduo coming out of an 11-0, skipping that Superduo and going through the next 11-0 seed bead. And we've made a picot. Now we're going to slide through the Superduo next to that, the two 11-0 seed beads, through another Superduo and another seed bead, because we're building a picot between those two single seed beads in the set. Remember, we did 2 seed beads, 1 seed bead, 1 seed bead. That's a set. We are building a picot between the single seed beads. So again, I'm going to pick up 3 8-0 seed beads, I'm coming out of a single 11-0 seed bead, skipping over a Superduo and going back through a single 11-0 seed bead and pulling it. I have another picot. Now we're going to slide our thread all the way through the Superduo, the two 11-0s together, another Superduo, and the single 11-0. Just slip them right through there, one at a time or a few at a time, whatever your needle wants to do. I think the needle is the boss here. Okay, so I got through the two 11-0s. Now I got through a Superduo and single 11-0. So again, we have 2 picots. I'm going to build another picot because we have a single 11-0, single 11-0 with a Superduo in the middle. So again, we're picking up 3 8-0s, skipping over that Superduo and going through the single 11-0. And if your needle is cooperative, you can keep sliding through until you get to, it's not cooperating. I actually slid it through the single 11-0 that I'm supposed to. And then I'm going through Superduo. I'm going through 2 11-0s. And I'm going to go through a Superduo and another 11-0. So that I wind up where? Where do I want to wind up? Let me tell you one more time where we're going to wind up. We're going to wind up right here, where there's 2 single Superduos, 2 single 11-0s, excuse me, with a Superduo in the middle. So we are going to pick up 3 more 8-0s. 1, 2, 3. I'm coming out of this 11-0. I'm skipping over the Superduo and going through the next 11-0. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 picots. What's the matter with my picot over here? Pull it out and pull it tight. 4 picots. Now let's see if I can remember what I'm supposed to do. Okay. What I want to do is work my way to the center of the next picot. But before I do that, I'm going to make a half hitch knot, which is you are putting your needle underneath between a seed bead and a Superduo. Pull it through till you have a loop. Slide your needle through that loop and pull the thread, making sure that your thread is between those two beads, because we don't want that to show. And then I am going to slide. I make it sound like it's going to slide through easily, but every time I say that, it gets a little difficult. I'm going to slide my needle through all those beads until I get to the middle of the next picot. And you have to make sure that your thread does not get caught on anything, like it just got caught on my last picot. Just sliding through all the beads till I get close to that next picot. It's the last 11-0 right next to the picot. So I'm going through 2 of the 3 8/0s. So now I have my thread coming out, and this will be the okay. I'm coming out of the left side of the middle 8/0 seed bead. Doesn't matter whether it's the right or the left side, but I'm going to pick up 4 11/0 seed beads, normally I use a much longer drop, and this is a 9 by 6 millimeter Swarovski crystal drop, so I'm adding a bead to it to make it a little bit longer. So imagine that and a seed bead in between to be a bigger drop. See, this is what I used on the others. I'm just building a longer. It has nothing to do with what we just did. We're coming out of the bottom, the middle 8/0, adding 4 seed beads. I'm adding a 4 millimeter pearl, another seed bead, and I'm going through the top of a teardrop drop and adding 1 more 11/0 seed bead. Slide them all down. Now 3 of these 4 top seed beads are going to be for the right side, and 1 is just support for the drop. So I'm sliding that up. Let me pick it up, and I am coming out of that 11/0. I'm skipping over it and going back down through the drop, the single seed bead in the pearl, which would normally just be 1 drop, and 1 more seed bead. Trying to hold my hand up and do it all. I missed the 1 more seed bead, so I'll pick that up before I pull it all up together. I skipped over the 11/0 seed bead. I went up through the bottom of the drop, the seed bead, the pearl, and 1 more seed bead. Now I'm going to pull it tight up to the other, and we have 3 more seed beads that are there on the left side. I'm going to pick up 3 11/0 seed beads and go through the opposite side of that 8/0. We're coming out the left, to build the drop, and I'm going in the right. Sure I am. Coming out the left and going in the right. Maybe if I say it a few more times, the needle will hear me. Supposed to pull everything tight, but sometimes I tend to pull it a little bit too tight and I can't get in there. Okay, stick my fingernail in. I'm going in the right of the middle 8/0 seed bead. Oops, and my thread got caught around the drop. And now what we have is like a little U shape holding the drop. Let's put it here. Now I'm going to go back through all of those seed beads, the pearl, the drop, back up and around, so I give it a little security. So I'm coming out one side of that middle 8/0, going down 1, 2, 3, 4 seed beads, a pearl, a seed bead, and the drop. I'm not going through the 11/0 on the bottom, and I'm going to pull that pretty tight. Then I am going to go through the 11/0 seed bead on the bottom, through the drop, seed bead, the pearl, seed bead, and then I want to go up the right side of the seed beads in that loop. One, 2, 3. I'm going to go through that 8/0 again. That's in the middle at the top. I'm going to go through the 8/0 that's next to it. Pull it tight. And I'm going to make another half-hitch knot to secure it, which is going between the two beads underneath the thread, pulling it through to make a loop, putting my needle through the loop, pulling and making sure the thread goes between those two beads so no thread is showing. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to weave my way all the way up, ignoring this picot on the side. Which side is this thread going? Lay down. My thread is on the left side here. I'm going to go all the way up here and ignore the picot. Really doesn't matter if you go through the picot, but you can see the thread, and I don't like two threads there. So I'm going through all the seed beads, the tops of the Superduos, making sure I don't get caught on anything until I get to the opposite side of this pendant. And I'm ignoring the middle picot. You're just weaving your way back through to the top. Ouch, cramp. Okay, I've gotten through the last seed bead before the picot. I'm going through 1, 2 of the 8/0s. And this is where we're at, just like we were on the bottom. We're coming out of the center 8/0 on the top, and we're going to pick up 10 11/0 seed beads. And here's a little trick I use if I have a big enough amount of 11/0s. That's too big. I make a pile. I need to put on 10 seed beads. So I bend my needle at an angle, and I just kind of scoop till I get a bunch on there, and then I count. I think that's easier. So I have 3, 6, 9, 10. Had one too many, so I'll just knock it off. I'm coming out one side of that center 8/0. I'm coming out the left side, and I'm going to go back through the right side of that center 8/0 to form a circle. Now that circle is what you're going to use to attach to either an earring or a jump ring if you're making a necklace and attaching it to a chain like I did here. Oops. And I'm going to also, I'm coming out, where am I coming out here? I'm coming out the left. I'm going to keep going around all those seed beads again, all the way around through the middle 8/0 one more time for security. 2, 3, 4 at a time, doesn't matter, as long as you go all the way around and don't get caught on one of those picots. All the way around the 10 and back through the 8/0. Pull it tight. You can go through the next 8/0 right next to it, and at this point, after I get through that 8/0, we're going to do another half hitch knot. So we have a nice little circle there. We've tightened up the beads. We're going to go underneath the thread between, well, let's do this. Yeah, between the 8/0 and the Superduo. So you get a loop, put your needle through the loop and pull, so your knot is between those two beads where nobody will ever know it's there. And then you just slip your needle through a couple more beads before you cut it off, because you should never cut where you've done a knot. So I've just gone through a Superduo, and that's all it went through, was a Superduo. Now I'll go through 2 seed beads before I cut my thread. 1, sure, 2 seed beads. You can go through as many beads as you want, just as long as you at least get through a couple. And now I'm going to cut my thread. Get rid of you. Here's my ear wire if I'm making earrings, And this is a fleur-de-lis leatherback. I do sell them in my shop. They're really cute. They have a little loop on the bottom, and the slit is at the top of the loop. Just grab a plier, turn it sideways to open it up, slip that loop that you've just made through it. I said I had the wrong glasses on. I can't see the earring loop. But you grab the earring loop and you close it up, if you can see it. And you have made an earring. That I really didn't do a good job of closing this loop up. But again, I have the wrong glasses on. But you get the general idea. This is actually going to be a necklace, so I'm going to take that loop off. And I'm going to use a jump ring. Hopefully this video was a little easier to see the detail. It's always hard when you're working with such small beads, and it's especially important to enlarge your screen. I hope you enjoyed this video and were able to benefit from it. I will upload it as soon as my computer finishes saving it. So, thank you, and have a very blessed day.